Good afternoon. This is Alex Marienthal with the Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center and a weekly conditions update for the mountains near Cooke City on December 26th, 2020. The update's coming out a few days late this week due to Christmas. The next one will be issued by next Friday, the new year, in the morning. So last week, Sunday through Wednesday, the mountains near Cooke City got over 2 feet of snow, which was pretty heavy with over 2 inches of snow water equivalent. And of course, there was some wind along with that, blowing out of the west. Throughout the week, it varied, but there were some strong winds during the storm, and there have been some since then. Doug and Ian were down there on Wednesday, and this is what they found.
I'm here on Mount Abundance, and there's an avalanche behind me that broke on a really steep, wind-loaded area. And we've got a beautiful day. It's right after a storm where we had over 2 inches of water and 2 feet of snow with really strong winds. And so today we've been riding around taking an inventory of the slides, and most of the avalanches we're seeing are on the small to medium size and similar to this, where it's steep, it's rocky, in some places it might be thin. Usually it's confined to the storm snow. And moving forward in the week, we don't have a widespread weak layer. This is going to be our concern. Just these steep, wind-loaded areas, and if you get unlucky if you get unlucky this week, that's where it's probably going to happen on one of these slopes.
Okay, so that new snow created wind slabs. That is where you're most likely to trigger an avalanche this week. And during and after that storm, there were many natural avalanches reported, as well as a couple skier-triggered avalanches, and all of these were on steep, wind-loaded slopes. Doug described and showed some of that terrain. The last couple days, there hasn't been any new snow, but skiers have continued to report some collapsing of the snowpack in low-angle terrain, which is a sign to remain cautious on wind-loaded slopes especially, and to carefully assess the stability of the snow that fell over this past week before riding anything steeper than 30 degrees. So today, the avalanche danger is rated moderate because avalanches are possible to trigger, and we need to proceed with caution and either avoid avalanche terrain or be very careful with our assessment of the snowpack and terrain. I want to take a quick look at the regional conditions page on our website for Cooke City. You can find these for any region by going to the forecast tab, and it gives you the recent 3 days weather and wind, and we see there hasn't been much snow, but the wind has continued to blow. And the bottom line, which I just kind of covered, also shows our past 5 days of danger trend. So we see just 5 days ago, we were at that high danger during that storm. And because that snowpack down there generally lacks buried weak layers, we've been able to come down to a moderate danger for triggering wind slabs. And at the bottom here, there's some pictures of avalanches that were seen during and after that storm. As well as snow pit profiles. Check that out if you're interested in looking in the details there. A live webcam here on the left from the Soda Butte, where we can see it is snowing in Cooke City. And then looking forward in our forecast the next 3 days, we have some snow going on today and tonight before some clear and cold weather to start the week. So by tomorrow morning, we could see 5 to 8 inches down near Cooke City with some westerly wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So we will continue to be cautious of wind-loaded slopes where we could trigger fresh wind slabs from this new snow, or maybe even some deeper ones from that storm earlier in the week. And so also, if you do intend to ride steep slopes as this snowstorm settles out, go ahead and dig a snow pit and make sure there aren't buried weak layers, or just check the stability of this snow with a column test. The danger could rise to considerable on wind-loaded slopes tomorrow and maybe the next day, depending on how much snow and wind there is. Otherwise, it'll likely be moderate on other slopes, and as that new snow settles out without any signs of bad persistent weak layers. But check the forecast at mtavalanche.com every morning, especially before you go out. Get the full story there and the most up-to-date conditions. And make sure to only expose one person at a time to steep slopes, and that everyone in your group carries rescue gear and knows how to use it. Every Saturday, we will have a instructor at the Round Lake warming hut to help practice with rescue gear or discuss current conditions if you want to stop by to do either of those for 15 minutes. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Montana State Parks, the Upper Yellowstone Snowmobile Club, and Friends of the Avalanche Center for supporting these updates and classes in Cooke City every weekend. Have a fun and safe weekend, and tune in on New Year's Day for the next update.